Toko's body suddenly lunged backwards. A huge thud echoes across the courtroom, but in the second or next second... Oh my
Well,
god.
hello there! Is it me you were hoping to see?
Genocide Jill? What the hell? She looked like a lizard or something. Salamander.
What the heck?
Oh my god, if I were Hifumi, I wouldn't even be standing next to her anymore.
So you figured it out, huh? Well, whatever. What are you gonna do? I'm the ultimate murderous fiend, Genocide Jack! Or better yet, let's go with Genocide Jill!
What the fuck is this? Toko, what happened to you?
Not Toko, that's a loser name, and what happened is a textbook split personality. So what if one of them happens to be a serial killer? You should turn a blind eye to one's faults.
Whoa!
She's so intense.
Like they say, sound in murderous mind, sound in murderous body.
I swear, I wouldn't be surprised if he's just throughout the court, it's just throughout the case, it's just suddenly gonna start nibbling on Hifumi. He's like, I'm hungry.
This one is so different from the one we've come to know.
Yes, well, the world is composed of a front and a back, you know. Just like how every inning has a top and a bottom, or how in the depths of every truth lives a little lie.
This sounds familiar.
Behind every dark and gloomy soul lives another that shines as bright as the sun!
This is the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack? This is beyond insane!
Miss Jack, Jill, can I ask you a question?
What's up?
Some of us think you might be the mastermind behind our entire situation. What are your thoughts on that?
That sounds like bullshit.
Well, I'll tell you, I am the mastermind of all masterminds! Just kidding!
Then it's not true?
Of course it's not true! How dare you try to link me to that creepazoid?
It's funny that even Monokuma wants to disassociate herself with from Genocide Jack or Jill.
And another thing, the police and government and society in the outside world are totally powerless! I mean, they just let this idiotic bloodthirsty maniac go buck wild all over town!
Sure, I'm a bloodthirsty maniac, but life is pain, right? To live is to hurt other people. It's a necessary evil if you want to survive. The act of living itself causes pain for everyone.
That's a bleak outlook on life.
Just kidding again!
This should be enough to convince you. This murderous fiend is responsible for Chihiro's death.
I don't know. Like, okay, it is 100% confirmed that another personality of, whatchamacallit, of Toko is Genocide Jack. That is 100% confirmed now. But Byakuya has all the necessary power and information to make this murder look exactly like Genocide Jack did it, but he is in fact the real one that did it. Because the thing is, we didn't know this before, right? We only came to know it just now, that Toko actually kind of confided in Byakuya that Genocide Jack is inside of her. And that is information that no one else had except Byakuya. So Byakuya knew 100% sure that Genocide Jack was one of us among us. And like one of us is seriously, you know, Genocide Jack is here. Which is something that we questioned early on and thought it's like, no, that's not the case. But he knew 100% that that was the case. So with that information, he could have planned out and set up this entire murder to make it look like it was Genocide Jack. But in fact, it's just him trying to frame Genocide Jack. So I still think Byakuya has that power.
There's clearly a motive, so there should be no doubt.
A motive?
Remember what Monokuma told us? If someone didn't murder and graduate within 24 hours, an embarrassing memory or secret would be revealed.
That's true. I actually totally forgot about the secrets or memories. And that's something I guess Toko wouldn't want to, those secrets to be known.
Well, let's assume that Toko's secret was about Genocide Jack. If a secret like that came to light, Toko's life would have undoubtedly been forever ruined. So she had a very clear motive to never have that side of herself exposed.
Interesting. Very, very, very interesting. But sorry, as much as I hate to admit it, I'm not the culprit.
Huh?
But I cannot imagine anyone other than you could murder someone in such a bizarre fashion.
Maybe so, but nevertheless, it's the truth.
Do you really expect any of us to believe you?
Yeah. I could never believe a word you say, you monster.
Maybe she's totally right about that. But something's still bothering me. What she said. I need to get some more details about all of this. Alright, let's question Genocide Jack or Jill, status of the dead body.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change things.
With space, okay. With space we slow things down.
Huh? Now we're talking.
When you compare your past murders to this incident, the modus operandi matches completely. What more proof do we need? Give it up. You killed her.
Okay, just have to focus on remembering Chihiro's body. That must have the answer. That should prove that what he said isn't quite right.
Sorry, but I didn't kill anyone.
You say that, but
Perhaps if you had an...
Oh, an
Gotta be
alibi.
this-
when you compare your the modus
Byakuya
operandi,
said.
What more proof
do we give it up? You killed her.
Sorry, but I didn't kill
I'm
anyone.
not
You
sure if
say
it's this.
that, but do you really expect any of us to believe it?
Perhaps if you had an alibi, that would change...
Oh, an alibi, huh? Now
When you compare your past murders to the modus operandi matches completely.
No, that's wrong.
Yes.
Are the methods of murder really exactly the same? I'm not so sure about that. I think there's a slight difference between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
Huh? How's it any different?
Uh-oh, you don't know? Well then, human garbage, let me tell you!
Wow.
I murder with passion and conviction. I consider myself a professional, and I have a very particular way of doing things.
The scissors, right? Or I thought it was daggers or knives or something, but apparently I didn't read the text, but it says there the scissors used in the murder were apparently custom made. Every pair left at each murder scene seemed to be from the same material and construction.
Imagine you go to a fancy Italian restaurant. They're very picky about the noodles, the sauce, everything. But what happened to Chihiro? It'd be like if that same Italian restaurant started using ragu or Chef Boyardee. This is no creation of mine.
Probably because of the extension cord.
Let me rephrase that in a way that maybe makes more sense. There are two clear differences between the Genocide Jack cases and this one.
There's one clear difference between the murders. In the photo from the Genocide Jack cases, look at the neck and stomach. Here, you'll see a clear difference. The victim's fatal injury.
I got it! For one, the cause of death is different. In the Genocide Jack murders, all the victims were killed the same way. According to the case file, they were all apparently killed with a pair of scissors. But Chihiro died from a blow to the head, right?
Ah, yes. That is remarkably different from the other murders.
Wouldn't it be strange for someone who kills the same way without fail to suddenly change their method?
But that could also just be because of improvisation, right? Because she doesn't have those tools here. But yeah, I can understand what you mean. Like, for someone who... I'm assuming, like, Genocide Jack really takes it, as you said, like, I'm a professional. So she really takes serious how she murders those people. So perhaps if she can't kill a person in the way that she wants to, she wouldn't even bother killing that person. That could make sense.
And there's more. One more conflicting detail.
That's That's right! In my recipe of murder, if the bloody message is the tortellini, then the arrangement of the body would be the pesto sauce!
Could you please stop comparing killing people to cooking?
So, are you saying the other difference has to do with how the body was arranged?
That's right. The second difference is related to how she was suspended. In the photos of the other Genocide Jack cases, all the other victims were stabbed through their hands. Here, you'll see a clear difference. What was used to suspend her, how the body was posed when she was suspended. I think what was used.
I got it! Do you remember what the killer used to suspend her? They used some kind of rope to hang her up by her wrists.
What is your point?
Well, in all the previous Genocide Jack cases, something else was used to suspend them. Specifically, pairs of razor-sharp scissors.
And guess what? I used my own specially designed scissors for the murders and the arrangement!
Why is she biting her thumb like she's about to perform like a blood jutsu?
Like I said, I'm a professional, so naturally I'm very picky about the tools I use. And you know what else? Big Mac said there's two differences, but he's wrong.
Big Mac.
Big Mac? Are you referring
What?
to me?
Big Makoto?
Listen up, Big Mac. There's actually one more difference.
I am so mean. I actually thought when she said Big Mac that she meant Hifumi. But me Hifumi didn't even say a word, you know?
Huh?
My word, you really didn't notice? Take a look at who the victims were in each Genocide Jack case. There's a pattern there, just waiting to be discovered.
A pattern?
Huh. Something with the names then, right?
Figure that out, and it'll be plain as death why I couldn't have possibly killed that little lolly girl.
Haha, lolly girl. Let's see. There was a pattern surrounding the Genocide Jack victims, and Chihiro didn't fit it? If you look at the names of every victim, what you'll notice is... I think I figured it out! I know why she couldn't have killed Chihiro. Because Chihiro was a girl, because Chihiro was her lover, because it was her friend. Because she was a girl, right? Because all the killers, in all those three pictures that we saw, those were guys. So I guess this one is it, even though we already have sort of a theory that Chihiro might not be a girl. But that's probably going to be the counter argument of someone else when we say Chihiro is a girl. I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen.
I got it! Is it because Chihiro was a girl?
Bingo! Bullseye! Right on the money!
What are you talking about?
In all the Genocide Jack cases, all the victims had something in common.
Ken Harada, 32. Tetsuhiro Honda, 17. Shoji Gaku, 23. Kano Issei, 14. Takeshi Yoshida, 30. All guys. Komatsuna Taro, Takafumi Gono, Uchida Naohira, Takeshi Masume, Yuto Yumeyashi or Yumeima. There was no end to it.
They were all guys?
Yep.
That's right! The people I killed with such passion and conviction are all adorable little men!
Adorable little men?
I can't believe I said it! I'm so embarrassed!
The hell is wrong with you?
I can't help it! I'm just a full-throttle boy-on-boy fangirl, and the mopey side of me just hates it.
Yaoi? She's into yaoi?
But now I'm on the fast track to becoming a full-fledged fan madam!
So, since Chihiro was a girl and not an adorable little man, you wouldn't kill her?
Would an Italian chef suddenly start making ramen just because they're both noodles? Don't be stupid. I have too much passion and conviction to cross that line. That's the absolute reality of the one and only.
We get it. You've clearly explained your hobby and your philosophy. But that's not all there is to it. It's a different matter entirely, when you're forced to kill in order to survive.
Quiet, lowly cur!
Lowly? Cur?
Curry?
I would never kill for a reason as petty as mere survival. And if by some fluke I did kill to survive, why would I bother with the message and arrangement? It'd make me the obvious suspect!
That's true.
That does make some amount of sense.
Plus, Whatever reason I have for killing, I would never leave out my prized scissors. Who would go out of their way to use a big, stupid, heavy dumbbell?
Maybe you used the dumbbell because you couldn't find any scissors in the school?
Any scissors? I don't just use any scissors. I only use my own set of high-class envy of the entire world scissors!
Okay, calm down, Jill.
Okay, whatever. There still aren't any in the school.
Are you sure about that?
Oh, what? What?
Da-da-da-da!
Oh my fucking god, what?
She's fully equipped!
That's right! So I can kill anywhere, anytime! Why would I resort to dumbbells or rope when I have my trusty scissors by my side? Go ahead, tell me I'm wrong! You can't, can you, gutter dogs, all of you!
What if she just goes on a killing rampage right now?
I have no clue how to tie a good knot! So rope's totally out of the question anyway!
I have no idea what's going on anymore. Could such a heinous villain really be innocent?
It seems like it, and that's the weird thing, right, Taka?
But the body really was suspended, right? And nobody but the police knew about that.
Except...
Yeah. That's why we figured it had to be the real deal and not some copycat killer or whatever.
Actually, hold on. There is one person. One person who could have copied the Genocide Jack cases. Select someone. Oh, we know who it is. Not Mondo, not Hina. Hero, you're like completely useless. Byakuya, I see you sweating. I see you sweating under there.
Here's my answer. Byakuya, it's possible you could have found out, isn't it? You'd have no problem gaining access to classified government documents or internal police records. Plus, you'd already looked through the Genocide Jack file before this all happened, hadn't you?
Oh, silence.
Are you saying Mr. Togami did it?
Then, the reason he pushed the theory of Genocide Jack being the killer so hard was
Exactly.
because he wanted to pin the crime on her.
Exactly.
So, he rearranged the scene to disguise it and make it look like I put my stamp on it! The adorable glasses man was behind it all! Oh, I'm on fire!
Well, Byakuya, what's your response?
I see. So now the suspicion falls on me.
He probably took this into account. I think Byakuya is such a person that before he actually even planned all of this, he is going to prepare for the worst case scenario in the court cases as well. So that if suspicion somehow falls on himself, he has a way of defending himself, which is what he's going to do now. I think he's definitely that thorough of a person to plan his things out this thoroughly.
Then I must ask, when would you say I began acting suspicious? Surely you must have an answer.
Looking back and thinking about it now, the way you were acting right before we discovered the body was a little strange.
And the locker rooms. They're suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. Wouldn't you agree? Huh? Suspicious? It seems nobody searched the locker rooms. Let's start with the girls' locker room.
You wanted to go to the girls' locker room right away, right? But since you're a guy...
I should have naturally thought of the boys' locker room first. Is that what you want to say? The victim was Chihiro, a girl. Hence why I said we should check the girls' locker room.
Nothing strange about that, I'd say.
On the contrary, there's something very strange.
Okay then, what's so strange about it? Go ahead, share with the rest of the class.
Uh-oh. There was a clear contradiction in what Byakuya just said. I need to make it clear to everyone. Right, a new element had been added to the news non-stop debates. Right, let me add it. Next we're going to add something called a truth flashback. If you aim at a weak spot and hold down left mouse button, then you'll memorize that weak spot. This memorized phrase can only be shot once as a single truth bullet. If you shoot or change the truth bullet, it will disappear from your truth cylinder. However, you can use this flashback feature as many times as you want. If you don't seem to have the answer to a lie or contradiction in your loaded truth bullets, it might be wise to memorize a different weak spot and use that to make your case. When's the best time to flashback? Well, you'll just have to use your keen wit, won't you? In this case though, I will say that if you don't use a flashback, you won't be refuting anything. Well then, good luck and have fun. What is refuting? Alright, Monokuma file number 2.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
Yeah.
But he was acting weird... how?
If you're presented with the opportunity to check out the girls' locker room,
You absolutely take it! That's a natural reaction for any guy!
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl. So of course I would suggest we check the girls' locker room first. There was no time for pointless distractions. What's so strange about that?
I wish you'd taken me with you.
Hearing Byakuya's comment about Chihiro being a girl, I realized there's a clear contradiction there. Because it doesn't make sense how he could have known before we'd even found it. Okay, I need to make that contradiction clear.
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body.
How does this work exactly? I'm really confused about it. We load that into our
opportunity to check out the girls.
chamber.
That's a natural.
The victim was Chihiro, who was a girl.
damn
So
it.
of course
No.
I would suggest we. There was no time. What's
I
so
didn't mean
strange?
to do that.
you'd taken
You
me
should
with
with
you.
right click, right?
So, you said Byakuya was acting kind of weird before we found the body. But he was acting...
If you're presented with the opportunity, that's a natural.
The victim was Chihiro.
No, that's wrong.
That's how it works apparently. Okay.
I'll tell you what's so strange about that. Because up until we actually discovered the body, we couldn't have known who the victim was. So your claim that you went to the girls' locker room first because Chihiro was the victim doesn't hold up.
Exactly, because he doesn't have access to the girls' locker room, right? Therefore he couldn't have known it was Chihiro.
I see. That's a good answer, I must admit. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. But your reasoning is still too weak.
Huh?
What's wrong? Is that it? Surely you've got more than that. Go ahead. Show us.
What's with Byakuya's attitude? It's like he doesn't even care. No, I don't think that's the case. He's just prepared for this. I've got him cornered, but he's acting like it has nothing to do with him.
What's the matter? You're not finished already, are you?
It's just
there
because of
must
his...
be more to it.
It's because of his confidence, right? Didn't he say for sure that he's like 100% sure that he's going to win with everything? That's his attitude towards life and everything that has to do with it. And every competition he enters. Therefore, he's probably 100% sure that he's going to get away with this murder as well. That's why he doesn't seem like he's... You don't think that he's concerned and all that stuff?
There
It doesn't
is,
seem like it.
I think.
There is more to it. Think about it.
Yes, Kyoko, you've been awfully quiet.
We just talked about the differences between this case and past Genocide Jack incidents. The proof you're looking for is hidden in there.
Oh? Proof that I'm the culprit, you mean?
The differences between this case and other Genocide Jack murders, the evidence that proves Byakuya is responsible, is hidden in there? The extension cord? What could it be? Is it the extension cord? Library desk lamp, yep.
What? The difference between the cases? You want me to explain it again? When I want to kill, I use my very own special scissors. And I use those same scissors to arrange the body.
But Chihiro was suspended with... It was some kind of rope. Was it not?
That's right! It absolutely was!
Then there must be something very fishy indeed about that rope.
Hey, Byakuya, where'd you get it from, huh?
I'd never seen that rope before in my life.
Oh yes, you have. This one.
Obviously, somebody else must have had it hidden away somewhere.
Oh, you done goof, Byakuya. The proof that Byakuya did it is hidden within the rope? I guess it's possible. But first, the item she had been bound with was used like rope. But was it actually a rope? No, it wasn't. Byakuya didn't use rope. He used a very specific object. Yep.
What? The difference? You want me to explain? When I want to kill, and I use those things. But Chihiro, it was some kind of.
That's right.
Then there must be some.
Hey, Byakuya, I'd never seen
that rope before in my life.
No, that's wrong. Actually, I'm pretty sure you have seen it before. Because, you see, that rope, or should I say, that extension cord?
What? An extension cord?
Byakuya, you've used the extension cord in the library more than once, haven't you? And the same extension cord that was in the library all this time went missing
Surprise.
after the murder. And there's no way someone who uses that extension cord as much as you do wouldn't discover that fact.
Then Byakuya must be the one who took the extension cord. I can't imagine any other possibility.
That's really what you think? Then your conclusion is something like this? I killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, then hung her up and wrote that bloody message. I intentionally made it look like Genocide Jack was behind it.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
Pretty much. He's doing it again. He's totally calm, totally unconcerned. As if he's not even involved. Wait. Not even involved?
What's wrong? I asked you if you think that's what happened.
What? Could it be that he made someone else do it? No. That doesn't make sense, because then that person who actually did it is the one that's blackened.
Hell yes, that's what happened. So that's it, right? Byakuya's the killer.
I don't disagree with not disagreeing.
He kept calling this a game, right? So he'd be totally willing to do something like this to win.
Sorry, but could we hold on just a second? I think we need to talk about this a little more.
Huh? Do we really need to? We've already decided who did it.
You didn't decide shit, hero.
I know, but still. There's something that's still bothering me.
Is that right? And what, pray tell, is still bothering you? I killed her in the girls' locker room, then disguised my crime.
The e-handbook stuff, right?
Specifically, I dressed it up to make it look like it was the work of a homicidal psychopath. What about all that bothers you?
Wait. What was that just now? Something's not right. Chihiro's body was definitely found in the girls' locker room. But does that mean... Can I really just accept what Byakuya said as the truth? No, I don't think so. There's definitely something off about what he said. The scene of the crime.
I got it! You say you killed Chihiro in the girls' locker room, right? But are you sure about that? Isn't it possible that the murder took place somewhere else?
How disappointing. What kind of question is that? Even in the world of disappointments, this is a true letdown.
Oh, here's such a good actor, Byakuya. If he was in the Oscars this year, he might have even stolen the Oscar from Leonardo DiCaprio.
She was found dead in the girls' locker room. There is absolutely no question about that. How could the scene of the crime have been anywhere else?
Well, things were replaced.
Well, I think it's entirely possible that she was killed somewhere else, then carried there later.
Yep.
Along with the rest of the murder scene.
Bam.
The rest of the murder scene?
Oh, what's wrong now, Byakuya?
That was awfully specific. Please tell me you have a reason for saying all of that.
I believe I do.
Hey, Byakuya, did I just take you off guard? Look at him, he looks pissed. You see the veins in the top of his head, his forehead? when the story suddenly moved the crime scene, Byakuya, who had been so confident up until now. Maybe Byakuya never even realized that the actual scene of the crime could have been somewhere else. So someone else moved it?
Hey! Don't just move on without permission!
What?
What do you mean she was killed somewhere else?
Come on, Makoto. If there's any chance the murder took place somewhere else, let's see the proof.
We have plenty. Evidence that shows that the murder took place somewhere else. There was something that was switched between the boys' and girls' locker room. The poster. Where is the poster? I mean, no. This mentions both of them, so it's definitely the poster. Like, yeah, the carpet was switched as well, but this is like more specific towards the switching because it includes both the posters. Alright, blood was found on the poster in the girls' locker room. The poster featured a big-breasted supermodel popular among young boys.
I got it! The proof that she was killed somewhere else is the poster that's hanging in each locker room.
Your proof is some posters?
Oh yeah, it is.
The poster in the girls' locker room was a picture of a big-boobed supermodel.
Big boobs.
But don't you think that's kind of strange? Why would the girls' locker room have a poster like that?
I bet those massive jugs of hers were totally fake!
Yeah, you just popped them with your scissors, wouldn't you, huh, Jill?
Meanwhile, the boys' locker room had a poster of the super popular boy band Tornado. Again, that doesn't really seem to belong in a boys' locker room.
So you're saying that maybe the posters were switched?
Yep.
And there's one other thing I noticed about the locker rooms.
The carpets.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Sakura?
You're referring to my protein coffee, aren't you?
Yep.
Protein coffee?
While I was in the girls' locker room earlier, I spilled some protein coffee on the carpet. But I noticed that after the murder, the stain had been totally scrubbed away.
No, it's not that the stain was scrubbed away. It was moved. Yep. Boys' locker room carpets.
I got it! The stain on the girls' locker room carpet wasn't scrubbed away. In fact, I found it on the boys' locker room carpet.
That's definitely the stain from my protein coffee.
Then, does that mean that the carpets were switched too?
Yep.
But why would anyone do that?
To move the murder scene from one locker room to the other. It's certainly plausible, don't you think?
What?
In other words, in order to completely swap the scene of the crime, the bloodstained poster and carpet were moved along with the dead body. By doing this, the killer was able to change the entire room where the murder took place.
I can certainly follow your reasoning, but why would the culprit bother doing that?
Huh?
Why would they go through all that trouble of switching the scene of the crime? Actually, an even bigger question. If the murder did take place in the boys' locker room...
This is what I'm a little hazy about as well, so I'm really interested as to where this is going.
Then how did Chihiro get in the boys' locker room in the first place? To get into the locker rooms, you have to swipe your e-handbook across the card reader device.
But she could have used the one from the main hall.
But Chihiro's handbook should have only allowed her access to the girls' locker room. She had no way to get into the boys' locker room to begin with.
No, she did have a way, and I can tell you what it was.
Oh, Hero is finally gonna contribute? Alright, Hero, lay it on us.
I highly doubt that.
Shut up! I'm telling you, I know how she could have done it.
Is he right? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow? Alright, Chihiro, lay it on me. My broken e-handbook.
Is it really possible? Could Chihiro really have gotten into the boys' locker room somehow?
Ah! I got it! She must have hacked her e-handbook!
Hacked?
She was the ultimate programmer, after all.
True.
I'm sure that would have been no problem for her.
No, I don't think that's it. She used the thing that was in the main hall.
Huh? What thing?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook, of course.
I think it's
If she
this
had
one.
that, she could get into the boys' locker room no problem.
Right. Theoretically, if Chihiro was able to use Leon's handbook, she could get into the boys' locker room. But when we found Leon's handbook in the main hall, there's no doubt that it was... In which case, can we really say that she used it?
Is it really
Fast
could
forward.
Chihiro really?
She must have hacked. She was the ultimate. I'm sure that would have.
No, I don't. She used the thing. Huh?
I'm talking about Leon's handbook.
No, that's wrong.
Poor hero, he's finally wanting to contribute
No,
and then
I don't
nope.
think Chihiro used Leon's handbook.
Why not?
Because Leon's handbook was broken.
Oh. Well, then, yeah, I guess that'd be pretty impossible, huh?
Good job, hero.
I am struck silent by how quickly you gave up.
Exactly. Oh my god, hero, you are so useless, it's funny.
Plus, isn't there a regulation against using someone else's handbook?
I mean, sure, I'm laughing at Hero right now, but I feel like sure, at some point later on in the chapters, if he doesn't die in this one, of course, he's gonna play some important role, but I just find it extremely hilarious how kind of useless he's been in these 2 chapters so far.
Actually, the rule states that loaning your handbook is prohibited. It says nothing about borrowing one. In other words, you could borrow a dead person's handbook all you want, and you'd be safe.
Yup. Hit the nail square on the noggin.
Of course, if it were broken, that wouldn't make any sense anyway.
So then, she must have hacked hers like I said. She used her ultimate programmer skills and...
No. Monokuma made it unhackable.
You can't fix an e-handbook. The instant you open one up, a security buzzer starts blaring.
Ooh.
So, if she didn't use Leon's handbook, and she didn't modify her own handbook...
Maybe Mr. Naegi's initial assumption is just wrong?
Shut up, Hifumi, I'm never wrong.
It seems like there's no way she could have got into the boys' locker room. So I guess so.
Unless...
Okay then, I vote for Byakuya.
Is that it then? Chihiro was killed in the girls' locker room, and Byakuya is the one who did it? Really? But still, I don't know what else I can do.